can go ahead and begin with roll call.
District 1, Alderman Miguel Aguirre.
Here.
District 2, Alderman Richard Hughes.
Here.
District 3, Alderman David Emery.
Here.
District 4, Alderman Michael Rodriguez.
Here.
And District 5, Alderman Charles Cate.
Here. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and if you can all please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and move on, council, to item number 4. There's citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the city council on any issue or any item of the agenda in compliance with LGC section 551.007. City council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken at any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion, JC-0169. Okay. All right, we do have somebody to go ahead and address. Adalia Gonzalez, if you can please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Adalia Gonzalez, proud wife of Mayor Ruben Gonzalez, and I live on Lake Breeze Drive. I stand before you with a short story with the purpose of making the council members aware of an incident concerning a particular city councilman. On the evening of Monday, February 19th, a week ago today, I was driving through town on 2790 and was stopped at the railroad tracks when I saw something that startled me. Knowing I was just minding my own business on the road, I was shocked to see Alderman Charles Cate giving me the middle finger from the driver's seat of his car as he drove by me. I was shocked, disgusted, and offended. It is important to note that I was driving my husband's car that evening. Did Alderman Cate mistake me for my husband? Why would he dare raise the middle finger towards the car, whether it is my husband or not? Of course, you all need to know that he has done this to him numerous times. The behavior displayed by Alderman Cate is highly inappropriate and unprofessional. Despite any differences of opinion that may occur in the city meetings, I believe city officials need to show professionalism inside and outside City Hall. I hope that Alderman Cate finds sympathy in his heart to provide a sincere apology to both my husband and me, and to vow to do better. Thank you.
Mr. Ruben Gonzalez, I want to say a few more words. But I can't the way I want to. I have to remember that I'm serving as a mayor, and I have to take that into consideration. And all of you around here can know how you feel, those of you that are married that have a spouse, for somebody to do this. Alderman Cate, your actions of giving my spouse a middle finger was repulsive, appalling, and awful. Your behavior was offensive in character, and the conduct especially as a councilman for the city of Lytle. I think the council also requests that you refrain from this type of behavior and be a more model citizen in this community. Any comments?
I mean, this isn't the time or place to talk about public stuff, but I didn't flip you or your wife off.
So now you're saying that she's a liar and I'm a liar?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, thank you. That just highlights who you really are.
Yeah, same goes for you, buddy.
Council, let's go ahead and move on to number 5, presentation of service award to a city employee. This is for Paola Rios.
It's a bell.
Paola, come on up, man. Great opportunity opportunity for us to be able to say a little special thanks. Zach, come on up. I'll be over here. And we're going to go ahead and say a few words and at the same time be able to take a photo. Then we'll invite the family to come up so we can go ahead and take some photos in here. But this is a certificate of recognition, and we do have a plaque that's coming. It's not arrived here, but it's coming, okay? And this is an appreciation for your outstanding service and dedication for the last 15 years. And this is awarded on the 26th day of February of 2024. So let's see, if I remember correctly, you got here, you worked over at the clerks, in the court clerk position, utilities first, and then you went to court, and then you went to permits. So 3 jobs, okay? And then Richie stole it. So Richie went in and took her over and went over to the police department. And then the city hall needed some assistance, so we brought her over as an assistant city secretary. First tax, went to Texas, city secretary. And then lastly, as our city secretary right now. And throughout that whole time, she's had numerous projects. And I would say probably the biggest one that you had was the taxes. Because we were dependent on her to be able to get everything put back in place, cleaned up, transferred over, and working with the county so we could go ahead and do that. And that's been a huge help for us, just being able to do and take care of that major program. So a small token of appreciation, we have a certificate, but the staff also wanted to take care of you and get you a glass. It says thankful for you, which is pretty cool. It has your name there. So nobody can take it, okay? So, and I think they're saying this is like for the afternoon, and then this is for the morning. 15 years of dedication has your name on there.
And then finally, if you'll,
Oh, this is mine.
yeah, you should read what it says.
Oh, my God. Just lie down. Say to the pen for you. Don't touch his pen.
Don't touch his pen. Because supposedly they take his pen.
I heard we take her pin off.
Yeah, we take his pen. So I'll be able to do that. So we'll put this here. Let's go ahead and do this and take a quick photo. And get right there. There we go. And we're gonna get the, here we go. Okay, and come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Okay, as we're getting ready to photo, we just wanted to say thank you to you all. I know that we take a lot of her time and we keep her pretty busy. There's been some weekends and evenings. You even stay here. I've seen you sitting in the back with your head like this and you're actually working. Yeah, so we really appreciate the whole family commitment to her in the position and taking care of our community and taking care of all of the programs that are her responsibility. So we appreciate that. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. Okay, now you guys smile. Here we go. Nice smiles. All right. Thank you. Oh, hold on. We gotta do one more. Council, you can get up here. We gotta do one more. Let's get everybody in here. Hey, come on up. We forgot. I forgot. Come on up. Let's take a quick photo. One more. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and look that way. Here we go. Miguel, don't hide. Okay. Did you need to take one? Did you need to take one? Okay. There you go.
Miguel, go that way.
That's Miguel. All right. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You got your box. Here you go. All right. All right. All right, council, let's go ahead and move on to number 6, consent agenda. Consider the approval of payment of the bills.
Lynette, there's some items that on CPS that just have addresses, but they don't say like the Gilly House or anything like that. Right, they're just just like the address. But obviously it would have something to do with the city. Okay. We're not paying nobody's electricity bill.
They did try to call that
They did
out.
try.
Did they?
Gave me two from San Antonio, and I just did that.
Wow. Okay.
So council, just want to highlight, if you notice there in the CPS Energy lines, you'll see one that says City Hall, February 24, and it says 799.95. So that's the bill for this facility and the EMS combined together, the electric bill. I just want to say thank you to the staff. You can go back about a year and a half, 2 years ago, actually almost 2 years ago, and we were averaging around $3,600 a month out of that. And that was just because of how energy was being used, how it was being managed and everything. And City Hall staff has done a great job to be able to bring it down to a very, very manageable. And this is after them taking the reins and identifying things that we could actually do. So just want to highlight that. So thank you for all that.
Mayor, I want to make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas carried. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 7, open session. Take action on items discussed. We'll go ahead and jump into A, consider and act upon resolution number 24-07, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the updated interlocal cooperation contract by and between the Texas Department of Public Safety and the City of Lytle for the implementation of the Failure to Appear program, providing for incorporation a preamble authorizing the city administrator to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate each agreement and providing an effective date.
Mayor and council, so this particular item, of course, is just an update to the interlocal contract that we have with DPS for the Failure to Appear program. The legislative session, last session, made some changes, and so they've gone in, DPS has gone in and kind of updated the contract to kind of move those changes forward, and then also kind of add language to help kind of extend it if they can't get changes in front of the cities as well. So I think we outlined the changes in the data sheet there, pretty simple stuff, but we do have 90 days to get this done. So we just wanted to get it in front of y'all and get it taken care of.
Mayor, I want to make a motion to approve resolution 2407, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the updated interlocal cooperation contract by and between the Texas Department of Public Safety and the City of Lytle and the implementation of the Failure to Appear program, providing for incorporation of preamble authorizing the city administrator to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement this day, February 26, 2024.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Appreciate that. All yeas. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to B, consider and act upon resolution number 24-08, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving a proposal for engineering services for the review of the Rosewood Estates subdivision Unit 2 by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and TRC, providing for the incorporation of preamble authorizing the city administrator to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such agreement and providing an effective date.
All right, so Mayor and Council, pretty simple on this one. This is just to allow TRC to start engineering work on looking over Section 2 of Rosewood Estates. So obviously these costs will be covered by the developer, be rebuilt back. So
I move that we adopt resolution number 24-08.
Okay,
I'll second that, Mayor.
motion got a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, yeas have it. All approved. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and move on to C. Consider and act upon Resolution 24-09, a resolution of the City Council of City of Lytle, Texas, approving a modification to the business name of the project engineer for the Texas Community Block Grant Water System Improvement Project, providing for incorporation a preamble authorizing the city administrator to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such agreement and providing an effective date.
All right, so Mayor and Council, just over a year ago, this body approved Thornhoff Consulting Engineers to be the project engineer for the Community Development Block Grant that was given by the Department of Agriculture. And so, unfortunately, in the time span that we've been in and that we've been working through everything with them, that engineer has actually been bought out by another engineering firm. And so, in order to kind of comply with and keep the process going, we do need to have approval to switch out the name of the engineer on the project. So this would just be approval of that.
No, I move that we approve resolution 24-09 as written in section 7C.
I have a motion on the floor. Got a second? Okay, any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and take care of D. Consider and act upon ordinance number 24-06, an ordinance of the City of Lytle, Texas, amending Article 11, utility rates and charges of Chapter 42 Utilities of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Lytle, Texas, by adding sections 42-366 regarding adjustments to utility bills for the defects in customers' system, providing for the repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing a severity clause, and setting an effective date, and providing for codification of ordinance. Okay, I think we have.
Between myself and Molly, but after the last meeting, of course, if y'all recall the issue that Ms. Garcia brought up and us looking at how we could maybe adjust bills other than just giving a payment plan. And so our attorneys and specifically Molly wrote this up, and it generally follows, I think, what a lot of cities have across the state, or if they do have something built in. Kind of outlined a couple of the issues that we just want to make sure we're solid on before we move it forward and make any adjustments we can tonight. So I think the biggest thing is, one, I think we changed the language in there to currently list it as the finance director would be the one kind of handling this process with the individual customers. So we want to make sure that that's still an appropriate person or position that council would like to see. The time frame of the 90 days as well, so that they have up to 90 days to get, upon getting the leak fixed, actually submitting stuff to us in that timely manner to get that taken care of. And then third would be, do we just want to apply this to single family residents, or are we looking to apply it to other types of uses across the city? And then the parameters of the adjustment. So I think currently it's built in as the sum of what we would expect, and it breaks down how that we would come to that determination, plus 1/2 of the actual usage that ultimately would be. So you're looking at, in the case of Ms. Garcia, where it was a $2,400 bill, we'd look at somewhere in the range of $50 to $60 plus 1/2 of that additional that she would be subject to in that particular instance. So we just wanted to put this in front of y'all and start talking about that.
You'd still make some sort of program that she could pay that over time, right?
Yeah, the payment plan I think would still be on the table. Molly, do you have any? Yeah, just like any other.
Would that be worked out between finance director
That's
and
correct.
individual?
Correct. Yeah, which I think is currently how it's done anyways with utility billing and finance.
Which still needs to be in place, because even after you do all the calculations and find out how much
Still a good
that
sum.
person owes, they still have to pay it
Correct.
off. I have a lot of stuff for this.
what authority do we have to give away water?
So I think I'll let our attorney speak to that more, but I know that the biggest problem is we can't forgive everything. That would be the big issue. But it does allow us, the statute does allow us to add parameters like this where we would be forgiving some of it, just not all of it. Is the problem.
Can you hand Molly the microphone, please?
So as long as you're not forgiving the entire bill and there's parameters that you're going to implement that would be applied across the board, no matter who applies for the leak relief on their bill, you would set them in place, and that way it is set. So it's not necessarily somebody comes in and it's all forgiven except for $1 versus somebody else comes in and only gets 50%. You have to take out that and make sure that it is an equally applied standard. An application comes in, they show when the leak was repaired, they show how the leak, was discovered or not discovered. Obviously, if they've had a long time of higher bills and they've just discovered the leak after months, there's some deference there that the council would need to address. Why did you not notice the first month your bill went up? Why are you expecting us to forgive 6 months of bills? So there are some things that would have to come for consideration on a case-by-case basis. But the bottom line is, as long as you have those criteria in place and you're not forgiving the entire bill, and it's based on a leak, it's based on something that you can verify was not their fault, then that is permissible under the law. You just cannot forgive all of it.
And you had stated previously that other cities can have done this.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's in place in many cities, and everybody has different criteria that they feel is fair, that they gauge things on. This is the parameters that are brought to you. You have options to do different things. Like if, for example, if they've had a leak repair bill adjusted in the last 12 months, well, then they're not eligible for another 12 months. If they've had some sort of drought usage violation and they were noticed of that and they didn't do anything to kind of figure out why their usage was higher, and now they're coming and they're asking for forgiveness of some of their bill, obviously that's a factor. You can adjust it based on the parameters for the standard volume based on their year average. You can adjust it with a 50% of the difference using the same cycle. It's just up to you what you think would be appropriate. I think what's in this ordinance that's been presented is it would be 50%, their average bill plus 50% of the usage of the water that was lost. And of course, they have to show that it was repaired properly.
Right.
They have to show the time frame that the leak occurred and why they believe that it was from that. There's application guidelines that would obviously be put in place.
So just because I think we talked about this, just because they apply wouldn't necessarily mean that they're
So let me get this started. So with regards to the finance director, it mentions in there that a licensed plumber needs to do the work. I want to make sure that the information given has the date of investigation by the plumber and our service, that the date that they did it. A detailed report on what the cause was and a detailed report on what the fix was. I would like to see that information. Now, once the claim is accepted, I would like to see that come before the council. So all the information that is gathered by the client, by the agent, brings it to the council, and the council will make the final decision. If the agent refuses or rejects the claim, the customer should have the ability to come to the council as before and file the same request. I would like to see that. So those are my comments as far as the finance director and eligibility part.
So to clarify, you're wanting the application to give a detailed report of the cause and the fix, provide proof that it was a licensed plumber that has
Yes.
fixed it, gather all that information on the application. The finance director presents to city council decides.
Yes.
And the same, if finance director recommends denial, present it to city council decides.
Well, no, then the customer can come to us. The
Appeal
director
it.
or whoever the agent is does not have to come to us if they reject it. It's up to the customer to come to us and request.
So more of an appeal, okay.
I heard an exclusion there for businesses. Small mom and pop business could have an incident like this and rack up a several $1,000 bill as well. Why are we necessarily eliminating businesses?
It was just the way we wrote it. Cities use that way, some cities use apartments and
That is a factor for you to decide on this evening of what you would like to include in the policy. Would you like them to be able to be considered? If so, you just add them. Again, same parameters. They have to show all of this, and then it comes before you, and you have to.
I don't see any reason to arbitrarily eliminate or discriminate against businesses, especially since we're a small town with a lot of small businesses. I think that would be bad for business and bad press as well. So, and if we allow mom and pop and small businesses, we have to allow them all.
Then we need to define what a small business is.
No, my point is.
No, I'm not arguing with
We
that. I'm
should,
just
we should not eliminate
putting out-
businesses at all. Yeah, commercial as well as residential.
Yeah, my thought on that is if you have a business, you're there, 12 hours, 8 hours a day. So you should be aware of any leaks or any problems that you have versus a homeowner, where a homeowner could go on vacation, they could just simply not pay attention to that little puddle building up on their property. But to me, the cost to the city when it comes to a business could be astronomical. Can't even say the word. It could be, a lot to the city. I think the mom and pops are a very good consideration because a small business owner can get affected by a bill like this very easily. Maybe have a negative impact on them.
But do you
I would
think-
like to set some type of parameter on what a small business is.
There are a lot of small businesses that aren't open all the time. They won't,
It'd be more based on the utility rate,
yeah, they don't see it till the next bill or till
the
the
categories.
water people see it.
Yeah.
They'll see it.
We only have two, we only have residential commercial.
Yeah, you just base it on just commercial and residential.
So if we have the process set up, we would get an opportunity to look, right, and make that determination.
If that changes.
So one way or another, we would still have an opportunity to address that. But still at the same time, we're not excluding anybody that goes in there. Here recently we've had, and Robbie knows this, we've had contractors hit people's lines. So, how do they know, unfortunately that they've been losing it and it's been on the one side or something in particular. I'm just saying, I think if we put it the way it was mentioned about coming through council, I think we would have a venue for us to go ahead and make a determination.
Okay. You're saying before they just bring it to the finance director?
Well, they bring it to the finance director,
Okay.
but then the finance director is going to present it to us before a decision is made. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Got it.
So,
You can have that as the blanket rule, and then you're not putting it on a staff member to decide if somebody's water bill is reduced. They can gather the information. You can just bring it here and determine it on a case-by-case basis, but you have to apply the criteria in the ordinance each time.
And the document does state what a loss is.
Right.
So that's a good part. So
Yeah.
it's not excessive usage. I believe they use the swimming pool as an example.
What other cities have implemented this?
I mean, I know just from my experience, we had one Dickinson, and we had one in Spring Valley, similar to this. I know just looking around at other cities when we were looking at the language. I mean, like you had Rockport, I mean, there were plenty out there. I couldn't name them all.
Are these home rule cities that we're talking about?
It runs the gamut, so you have either one. So.
Yeah, because I mean, my whole issue is giving away that service, right? That's what I'm questioning, whether we even have that authority.
So I would say Chapter 552 of the local government code gives us the authority to regulate our water system, and thus we would. So.
And that's also been interpreted by Attorney General opinions, and I can give you those, that allow cities to make the determination that it is for the public interest to allow this to happen. As long as you're not, again, zeroing out and not collecting something to make the offset of the water lost, then you can do this. You have to set parameters, though. You have to use them equally across the board each time.
Well, I mean, what about customer negligence if they're doing something on their own property where they damage the line?
Then that would be obviously you would have to show that in the application as to how you discovered the leak and how you fixed it.
And that would be part of the detailed costs.
Yeah, if it's self-inflicted, then
Yeah,
that's
and that's
something
something
again that we would have to.
And that people are going to be forthcoming with this information.
Could be a sworn application to the city under penalty of perjury. That tends to have people state the truth.
And I will say, just like in here, most people do not know they have a leak until Robbie gets through the reads and he's going to Robbie out. And I can think of 4 or 5 on top of my head. They don't know what's happening until we.
But you do notify them,
we
they
call
get
them-
it
we
fixed.
call them the-
Now, you notify them and 3 months passes, you're still notifying them. Obviously, there's a problem.
But a lot of these fixes, the resident can fix themselves. I mean, is that going to be an issue?
Well, I think under this, to qualify, it would have to be by a licensed plumber. So.
I'd like to jump in on that.
I'd like to comment on that.
If my water line broke between my meter and my house, guess who'd fix it? I do that because I don't like paying $200 an hour to get stuff fixed. So if we can have a provision in there that it's certified by a licensed plumber, I'll pay $50 for him to come out and look at it and say, you did a good job. But I'm not inclined to have him charge me $1,000 to dig it up and fix it. 'Cause I can
Let
fix
me
it.
comment on an incident happened. How long ago was Mom's water leak? A year ago? 9 months ago? In the building, we just had a running toilet. How much was the bill? $1,300. So there was no repair. I just went in there and turned the water off and replaced
The float?
replaced the seal. It was just, the
Float.
thing just got stuck. So there was no repair to it. Now, we came down and paid that, but that is a good point, that there wouldn't be anything for a plumber to do. Bring that up.
What if Robbie was to go and review?
You can add a provision that it has to be inspected by Public Works before it's closed up. But
I'm sorry.
How, well, I don't, I mean, we got to take into consideration of what we're actually asking Public Works to
Right.
do, because it's going to be inside their
it's
property.
inside the property.
So,
No work involved. It's just looking at it saying,
Understood, but.
Yeah, but if
But
they're
you
going on
don't-
the property and certifying that, hey, it's good, and then it
You
comes
don't-
back and it's leaking the next day, then we're going to be on the hook for.
Yeah,
Right.
you don't, I
Instead of
don't
a
recommend
licensed
that,
plumber.
but if you're looking, again, the best way is the licensed plumber to either certify or do the repair. I don't recommend we have them do it on the property of the private property, but
And
that shifts the liability to the city if the leak happens again. Well, you said it was fixed, right?
And I'm going along with the same thing that Charles, the city's losing. This is a resource the city has. Now, in order to help our customers, because things such as what's happened can happen, we need to take that in consideration. But I you know, I could do some of the jobs myself, but I know, like in the San Antonio, I had that same issue. I had to have a plumber come out and actually do the repair. Otherwise, they wouldn't look at it.
I think with the certification, I know, and Miguel, I understand I'd be the same, but I'm also looking at it. Okay, if I pay the $50 versus the, if you get a credit of $1,000 something dollars, I mean, the $50 is small compared to the credit that I'm getting for the water. So, kind of take that into consideration. Robbie, is there anything that you've seen out there that we need to take into consideration?
Yeah, and I think it's the best interest to the citizen and the best interest to the city that if it's done professionally by a licensed, the repair. Can we move forward?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I just want to say,
We haven't made a decision.
I know. So, I think we got some good comments. We got some good discussion. So, right now we have a few things that have been put on here about the plumber, how it's actually repaired, adding the commercial on there. Does somebody want to make a motion for us to go ahead and incorporate that?
We're gonna do this piecemeal.
Yeah.
Because I have other items that I want to talk about.
You have other items you want? I think if we're going to go ahead, well, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. If we got a few things to discuss, can I get a motion for us to go ahead and adopt or go down this road of doing the ordinance for us to have utility rate changes?
Utility rate?
Utility rate and
Or the changes. He's asking
And the
for
charges.
changes to the
Yeah.
facility
Changes
section.
too.
Yeah.
Well, you can give the feedback as long as there's a consensus, then we can make the adjustments and bring it back
Yeah.
the way you want it at the next meeting.
Okay.
It can have a 90-day look back period. So
Yep.
I'd like to make a
From the
motion, Mayor. I move that we table this item until the next meeting so that legal can have the time to work with the city administrator to implement the recommended changes to the program we're proposing.
Okay. A motion for us to go ahead and table this?
I'll second.
You got a second? Okay. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I can't vote on this. I still have other things that I want to have changed.
Well, I mean, now's the time to,
No, this
discussion.
is the time to do this. If you table it, we're not going to discuss the other items
We're
such
we're
as,
discussing it right now, though, Michael. Now's the time to, at the other recommended
but if we
changes.
table it, we stop talking about it,
We
right?
haven't voted on it.
We haven't
We haven't
voted.
voted on
It's
it.
just
So go
a
ahead.
discussion
Go ahead.
period.
Okay.
Go
you can
ahead.
still discuss.
Go ahead.
You can still
Go ahead and
discuss.
bring up the other
Oh, okay,
recommendations. Yeah.
okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, so in the documentation, it also mentioned about a month and a half of billing for consideration. I wanted that to be a month, but that would be if that monthly billing comes in, that makes that homeowner aware there's an issue, then they go out and get it fixed. That gives them a larger window. Is that the idea by the month and a half or 2 billing cycles? No, it's in the documentation, it says that you can,
What section?
you can get, I didn't write it down.
Section A says, a bill showing metered consumption that exceeds the customer's expected volume at the service address for up to 2 consecutive billing periods may apply for an adjustment under the section if, and then it goes into the
Right, so,
criteria.
so my thinking is that by giving them 2 months, that first month that they get the bill gives the homeowner the idea that there's a problem. They go out and get it fixed. Let's say it takes 2 days to get it fixed, but they're gonna still accumulate water. So by making it 2 months, I guess the idea behind the document is allows them to add that extra water that was consumed after the first month's billing.
So the way I read it was that we would be doing it based on the average. Right, Molly? Okay.
Over the 2 months.
Right.
Okay,
So normally what would happen is like Virginia would call them and say, hey, you have a high consumption. They normally turn the water off. So it's not usually been a continuous running. And I can only think of maybe like 4 or 5 times that we've had really, really bad situations
Right.
like this person. So, but she'll call and tell them that it may go 2 weeks before we find it or
Right.
3 weeks, but
Okay.
that would be the issue.
I think the other idea behind that is that you want the opportunity to get in total the total impact, because the other provision we have in here is if if we give it an adjustment in the preceding 12 months. So if they come 1 month and they've asked for that to y'all, and then next month the next bill comes in and there's still a little bit, it would be very hard to then say,
Right.
well, we can't apply another adjustment for that portion. So
Okay.
that was the idea.
That sounds good. And then that gives them 90 days from that second billing
Correct.
Correct.
to make the complaint or the request. Okay. Now the section for the actual usage, what I was looking for is had to set a minimum and a maximum value. So to me, for forgiveness, the minimum would be the average monthly bill times 12. That would be the minimum. So if they had excessive water usage, if it doesn't go above that minimum, then they can't come in and ask for forgiveness.
Where are you coming up with the times 12? How are you coming up with the times 12? Why would it's an average times?
Right. So my minimum is, so let's say that we had somebody that came in and they filed a complaint. So let's use their numbers. So for the minimum, the person stated that they had a $40 average bill, water bill. So if you multiply that by 12, that'd be $480. So if that customer was to lose water, they would have to lose an excess of $480 before they could ask for forgiveness. Otherwise, it's just a leak. I left the toilet running. I have a bad hose in the back. It popped. So I'm setting a minimum, right? And then what I want to do is I want to set a maximum. So the maximum will be 1.5 times. It's actually over a 3-year period. So you take that 1 year average, which is 480, multiply it by 3, and that would give you $1,440. That would be the ceiling. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to establish a window of what the city can give for forgiveness and what the council can also look at.
I didn't see that, but then again, Molly and Zach have it in there, so where it's gonna be a case-by-case basis.
Right.
Where the council will have full control, once I bring you the data and the assumptions and averages and saying, here, this is where we stand.
Right, but by setting these minimum and maximums, where there again, we're not showing favoritism. We're not gonna be arbitrarily just saying, well, yeah, you had a high bill, so we'll go ahead and look at yours. And that maximum also includes the 1/2 of the actual water loss that's currently in the document. So for example, as I stated, the minimum would be $480. The maximum would be $1,440. That person that had the complaint had a bill of $2,579.70. So their payout on their side, the city would forgive $1,289.85 based on this calculation. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is set a standard here so that it looks fair to everybody. Anybody that has an issue can see and that the city's, okay, we got a minimum, we got a maximum. And if that person falls in between, or even if they go above it, the cities will still limit their loss by setting that ceiling.
You let me know the expectation, and I've got it.
Did you get that, Molly?
I wrote it down and I'll get with Zach and,
Okay, and I can send you the example.
well, so the maximum is going to be based on the calculation of the actual bill.
Right, so the minimum
So just to
was,
clarify, it's not going to be 480 to 1440.
no,
that
it's
we're
not a hard
always
set.
considering. That's an example.
Right.
Okay, I'm just clarifying. for that.
So if that person had an average monthly bill of $20, it would be half those values.
Anything else?
I would like to see a one-time allowance.
Okay.
What?
Like one lifetime?
One time, one
that
lifetime
resident
allowance.
For that property or the?
For the,
that business.
for that, I guess it would be that property for that meter.
I would say probably the owner.
But if I have multiple properties and, you know, you gotta take into consideration each different property.
Well, it would be that resident and that service address.
I think it would be the utility
I
customer.
would think it would be the meter itself for that.
I would think it would be the customer because the meter stays, but customers come and go.
Okay, meter / customer.
Yeah.
And now if it's a rental, it would be the owner or whoever the person that's it counts under.
Whoever the customer
It
is.
would need to be the customer. It would need to be the
Then it would be
customer.
the customer / meter.
The customer.
And then lastly, I would like to see something in there that allows the city to go back if we find false statements, if we find that what was actually presented was not true. I would like for a way for the city to go back and collect any monies that we may have given
That
or
would be,
allowed.
that would be a process through the police department for a false statement
So once it
on a
goes,
government
it's
record.
beyond
Right.
our, okay.
But
then
that
I
is
take that one
something
out.
that you can put in there, you know, this is a sworn application. Any falsification will be prosecuted according to
Okay.
the.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So
Okay.
one-time allowance per customer,
Can I talk about that before we,
yes.
I don't see why we would want to do that. People have older houses, older lines. There've been, 40 earthquakes in Texas in the last couple of weeks. I don't see why we would arbitrarily limit it to once in a lifetime when PVC pipe goes bad. And you can have a break this week, and 2 months from now, you might have a totally different break in a totally different place in the back of your yard, and you don't see it until the billing time. So I don't see why we arbitrarily just say one and you're out.
I could tell you my thought on that
Please.
is I'm looking at the city's best interest. I'm not talking as a citizen. I'm not talking as a homeowner. I'm talking about as a representative of the city to try and reduce the amount of losses that we have. If you have problems with your plumbing and you know you have problems with your plumbing, we should not be allowing the city, sounds bad, but we shouldn't be allowing the city to keep the homeowners from making upgrades on their home.
So the ordinance currently has the customer has not received any billing adjustment under this section within the preceding 12 months.
It's 12 months in
12 months.
the contract, in the
I
current
don't have a
contract.
problem with 12 months. I would have a problem with lifetime.
So why don't we do this? So we'll make the notes, and then when we bring it back, we can actually discuss. It's time to think about some of these things too. We'll have an opportunity to make any final tweaks and stuff that we have, but this is good feedback. So we can go ahead and put a good working document.
Well, Mayor, I don't have a problem with the time period. If we can all agree with what Mr. Emery's suggesting, the 12 months, I'll be good with that.
You'll be good with that? Okay. Just for feedback. So we'll go ahead and take care of that.
And again, I'd like to leave the provision in there for, somebody said handyman. There's a guy named Conrad in town. He does everything for everybody, and I don't think he's licensed in anything. He did a lot of work at my house, including plumbing work. Okay, so if we get a certified plumber to okay it, I think you don't have to pay the high price to have it done by the high priced plumber.
All right.
So certified plumber repair and or
And yeah,
Or
repair
certification
and
of
or
repair.
Certify correct work was done, something like that.
So as long as it's been approved by a licensed plumber?
Yeah, because if I had a break between the house and that meter, I'd probably replace the whole line, and I could do that. I know I could fix it, and so I don't need to pay $1,000 for that. I
You
pay-
see, that goes back to my lifetime. Because if you do it on your own and it breaks again next year, and then you come to the city and the city has to dish out another $500,000. And we do that every other year.
Well, you're gonna have record of that also.
No, we haven't had,
It's not
You know,
frequent.
To say,
I know.
hey,
At a certain
here-
point, we can make those decisions
Yeah.
because it'll
right.
come in front of the council and we
Yeah,
make that
ultimately, we
determination.
make
Here we gave you
decisions.
this,
I mean, it's just a slippery slope though, once you start doing this. And everybody and their mother is gonna be coming in here, taking up time, taking up legal fees. And really, I've had my house for 7 years. I've had 4 breaks. 4 breaks. And that's because the house is 40 years old, and that's probably average for the city. So, I mean, I'd like to see these changes implemented and see what can be produced. But at the end of the day, our infrastructure system needs every nickel that we can get in order to make long-term improvements to our water and sewer. So, giving people breaks, I mean, I get it. Times are tough, but at the end of the day, we have to be fiscally conservative when it comes to spending this money. And I'm curious if this will open up Pandora's box when it comes to leaks.
All right.
How many on average would y'all say you have in a year?
I would say 4. I've had 4 in the last 2 years that I would consider serious. We have yard breaks, probably 1 or 2, maybe, but they're not. I mean, we're talking $200 or $300, maybe extra. But I can think of 4, which is the one you know about, and of course.
Richie's.
And then we have a farmer on 2790.
Okay.
So, Mayor, one last thing.
Okay.
Based on Mr. Emery's addition of the, the homeowner being able to do the work with the third person and then having a licensed plumber come in, I still want the date of investigation and or service, the detailed report of the cause and of the repair. Molly, I want to make sure that that's still in there.
Duly noted.
It is.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So with that in mind, all those in favor for us to go ahead and table based to make the adjustments and then bring it back to the council? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. All yeas. Thank you. All right. We'll have it on the next one. All right. E, discussion, update, and possible action regarding the status of capping city's water well number 3. We'll go ahead and turn it over to Zach and Robbie.
So, Mayor and Council, as the data sheet indicated, we had 2 different companies out here to assess Water Well 2 and the CAMRAIN and get us quotes on that portion. And while they were out here, we asked them to look at Well 3 and what it would take to cap the well. We got those quotes back, and unfortunately, both of those are above the $50,000 threshold that would require us going out for bid for the work associated with that. There's and Robbie probably can go in better detail, but there's a report that they have to do first, and then they go in cap, and so between those 2 items, it pushes it over that 50,000. I will say I didn't include the estimates that we received, but one was around 60 and the other one was like 160. So
Is that for one or for both?
it was just for
That's
well
just for the plugging.
just for the plugging of well 3. So obviously, we wanted to bring this to y'all's attention. This is something that needs to get done. Obviously, it's a violation for us not having a cap. So, we need to go out for bid if that's the case. But we just wanted to kind of bring it to y'all's
And
attention.
Robbie, this was something back in 2001, 2002 that should have been done.
No, the well was running when I started here.
Okay, so when was it? I'm trying to get.
Right after kids
Okay,
started. So let's say about 2008 more or less.
okay,
We just stopped using it and then we got it rehabbed and then that's when we found out that it was wrong.
okay. Got it. So it's been one of those things that have been on the list for a while to get done. So
I mean, we can't use it. So
It's not pumping anything at all.
No.
why can't we use it?
Oil. Same thing. Oil and water.
Well 3 has oil in it also.
I think it was the smell, wasn't it?
Also the sulfur smell.
Yeah, the sulfur smell. I know they
Where
would.
they drilled it, it's just a small section of the headworks where the water's not even moving to. So every time we used it, we had to flush it for an hour before we could put it online. And people still complain about the smell.
So just to clarify, you know, the item says capping. We're talking about plugging it
We're
though.
plugging it. It's plugging. We're plugging it.
We're not able to rehabilitate this well.
We already tried to. Trying to do it.
And how much was it again to plug it?
It's running from 60 to 160.
No,
It's just the
this
company's-
is an estimate.
Yeah,
Of course,
this is
when
just
we
an
put it out
estimate.
for bids, then we're really gonna get other, opportunity of other people
Yeah.
bidding. So it might be less than that,
It
but
could come in less, but yeah, the two that we got and just estimated was one was 61,000, and then the other was 166,000.
So with that range, do we have any type of bid proposal that we are going to standardize?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so we have engineering,
Um,
something that is, this is exactly what we need you to tell us
So
what you're gonna cost.
we have
Because
spoken with the
sometimes-
engineers. We don't necessarily have plans per se, but we do have statements and things that we can place in there to ensure that we're getting a concrete bid back.
Who have we spoken with at Edwards about this?
I don't remember their names.
I mean, it's an Edwards well, right?
Yeah, it's Everest, yeah. Oh, that's Everest.
Can we get with them to see what resources are available for communities that are faced with this sort of predicament? Maybe we can get a break on how much this is gonna cost, because I'd like to pay 60 as opposed to 160 as far as plugging this thing, especially if it's been offline for, what do you say, 15, 16 years?
More or less.
How long is a well able to be offline before you have to do something with it?
Well, if you go with the captain, it's only 5 years. So, they more or less want you to do something for free.
So this well problem should have been graduated in high school, huh?
So how many functional wells are we gonna have if we cap these two?
So we'll still have
one.
the well 4.
Right.
Obviously, we're still working on 2,
Okay.
but this one we're not doing anything with it
Okay.
as it is
All right.
today.
So we're still in the checking out phase for well 2.
Correct.
3 is the one that you drilled and it's full of sulfur and we can't use it.
So when Edwards Aquifer came out and they were asking for a place to put a metering device, remember on number 1, that was the time that they started looking into, hey, what are you doing with these others? So that's where it was re-identified. Hey, you guys really need to go ahead and take care of that.
Where are we at on that?
So
On the
Well, one.
monitoring, so they haven't provided any update. We're still reaching out, but they
So
kind of at
if they're gonna
Edwards Aquifer
monitor
saying
that
they
well,
would.
we don't have to cap it.
You're
No.
talking about the one at PD? Yeah.
yes,
And so I've talked to those Edward guys quite a bit. They've done all their work. They have some oil out. It's got a solar panel over there and it should be sending data, and it's called Lilo Well One. They told me you'll be able to look online and their website, to see about it. I haven't tried that yet.
yeah, we're in the bottom edge of the Edwards Aquifer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so.
One is
We
fine.
shouldn't have to cap that. and pay another
Correct.
No.
We're
$60,000.
No.
for that.
Correct.
Okay. All right, That's what I'm asking.
yes.
I'd like to make a motion, Mayor.
Okay,
I move that we direct the city administrator to go out for a request for bids to plug well number 3.
okay. Do I have a second?
I'll say it.
Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So you guys, Zach, okay, and take care of that. All yays. Okay. Let's go ahead and we still have a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and move on to item number 8. And this is the executive session. The City Council, City of Lidle may convene an executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.074 Personnel Matter, a discussion regarding the hiring of the Director of Animal Care and Control. Paola, if you can go ahead and show us going into executive session, it's at 7:30. Council, Molly, Zach, if you can please meet in the back, I appreciate that. Great. Let's go ahead and show it's 7:39. Paula, you can go ahead and show us back. No action taken. Let's go ahead and move on to number 9. This is return to open session. Consider and act upon items discussed in executive session.
Now I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we direct the city administrator to continue advertising to fill a position at the Lidle Animal Control Center.
Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Zach, you got it. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's on that one. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's see. Still doing good. Departmental reports. Finance Director.
Okay, for January, utility billing came out at 180,165. We have 1,557 water accounts. Total billed is 74,835. 922 sewer accounts billed at 37,204, and 345 gas accounts billed at 68,126. Impact and tapping fees. Water impact tapping fees for the month of January were 72,214. Water of 26,000. Water acquisition fees of 54,599. No gas. Sewer impact fees of 1,598, and sewer tapping fees of 19,500. And a lot of that you see right there are the new homes over at Bridge. Thank you. Donations. Animal control brought in 39 different donations for $97.50. Library brought in 100 at $164.75 with a total city donations of $262.25. The fire department brought in $981, which is redistributed back to them. City sales tax for January came out at $140,268 and 70 cents. So we're seeing a higher in that. When I was looking at the Austin's website, it looks like we're finally seeing the stuff and the impact from strikes. Hotel tax was high. We came in at $11,111.87. That is the highest I've ever seen it since I've written. Franchise tax. January, of course, we haven't booked it yet. I'm still waiting for the big ones, but $3,096.58, and total collected for the whole fiscal year $74,685. Court fines for January came in at $53,252, and the fines for January. I think I had told y'all, but Ashley had got all the warrants and stuff uploaded. We did probably 500 over to Purdue, and they've been able to bring in $2,652.66 with their mailing. Court, the new server is here. They dropped it off last Friday. I was very excited. They are actually working on it right now. So, and then of course Zach will explain everything about us going to have a shutdown on Wednesday, but we should have the court online payment stuff done by the end of March. Frontera thinks that we can get it up earlier than that, but I'm going to say the end of March to have it running really smoothly. All the backlog has been put in collections. Like I said, we're seeing a little bit more collections coming in, 43% increased on the warrant cost. And then February 28th is an office day, and the girls are going to start going through a lot of old files and stuff. The judge will be here, and we're going to try to clean out a lot of stuff that needs to go. Utility billing, everything went really smoothly. Robbie can go over the rereads and all that we had, but we didn't have really any hiccups at all. And Robbie has got 357 total installed radio reads, which is a huge deal. He's probably put in almost 160 in the last 2 months. He's been busy. And that's all. If you have any questions.
Yeah, question on the server. Server's just hardware. There's no new software.
Well, I don't know what they've put on it so far. So he came and hooked it up, and then Bryce was going back over there, and they were going to actually start doing stuff this
Right.
weekend. Is what John.
Other than the OS, it should, same software.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Anything else, council? Okay. Good job. Thank you, ma'am. Let's go ahead and move on to city secretary's report.
Okay, we had a total of 10 permits for the month of January. We kind of changing the way we're doing our permit tip to show you guys because everything is going to the new AYOKA and it's so different. So we just had 3 that were approved and 7 that are still pending. Total certificates was 7 for certificates of occupancy and 3 that were certificates of compliance. Certificates. And total inspections were 34, which is all the signage, the framing, the pre-pours and finals. Like I said, we're gonna restructure the whole thing because everything is just kind of like it's different, so you can't really break it down much. But yeah, for inspections for the appointment was for Rockets for 26 in total. For the Rapids 4, 12, Capital 4, and the final will be 6. And our collections for taxes, 440,000 were collected for the Avalon tax, 2,342 for the permits, and year-end line item was $269. I do have with training, January 11th to the 12th. Rosario and I went to do the election training. It was a good seminar in Denton. We learned a lot for the coming up elections, so we'll see what's going on. And then also for our actual occasions, Mayor Ruben Gonzalez was the only one that filed for this petition. Alderman Rodriguez actually was the only one filed for that petition. For Mr. Cates, I didn't get a file from him, but I did get some the file for that petition. And that was about it.
Questions, the certificates of occupation. So one was the Texas Boutique, just so the council knows, which were the other places that got it? Do you remember on top of your head?
For this month or last month? I know there were some that were.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe in the future in the slides, could you put the ones that got it so the council can?
Yeah. Chief right thing.
Do you?
Whatever he does for the fire marshal.
It's probably better to have.
Yeah, just put them in there. So next time, put them on there.
We'll let them.
So I just this weekend we had the Texas Boutique that opened up, so I know that was one good place, and that way the council knows the different facilities.
But I'm working for you coming opening your business and just give you the access to continue opening. The other one is just a compliance, whether you're I think it was for if it was yeah, it was a I think we can comply with the other.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Zach, is there anything before we go into informational items or nothing with any? And council, just so you know, we got into a different cycle just because Zach covered it in the last one. So we'll get back into the routine with him being included with the 3 on the next month. Okay. So be part of that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 11, informational items. I'll start over here on this side.
No, sir.
Okay. Go down the road. Paola, Rosario, do you have anything? Okay. You have anything? Anything at all?
The office will be closed on Wednesday, so we will be here, but there will not be, we're not gonna be running, normal business. So we need to do, so this will be closed. So if anybody calls, please.
Okay.
Can you repeat that on the mic, please?
What's that?
Can you repeat that on the mic?
Here we
On the
go.
microphone. Can you repeat what you just said?
No, just go ahead and cover it. So while you're doing that, Paula, if you can please annotate in the minutes, we had Councilman Kate actually depart. Thank you.
We will be closed on Wednesday. We're having a staff work day and we will be shutting down the server. So it can be, the new Tyler system can be moved and all the files can be installed. We will not be able to use Encode. So if anybody does call and have questions, just tell them we're hoping to be open on Thursday. And I'm going to say we'll be open on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Richie?
Talked to Mr. Meadows today briefly on this. Did I say that? I talked to Mr. Meadows earlier today briefly on this. So our police vehicles that we ordered are closer to being ready. So we will be, of course, the council last addressed the purchase of those about 18 months ago. So once we get our updated prices, we'll be back before y'all with how we're going to pay for those.
Okay. Thank you. In the back, anything at all? You know, Robbie, Molly? There you go.
No.
All right. Okay. First thing, some special thanks, and just wanted to go ahead and highlight, first of all, on behalf of the council, Betty, thank you for stepping up and helping us over at the Animal Care and Control Facility. We appreciate it. Welcome back. I know. There you go. There you go. Well, we appreciate it. And I know the girls over there, too, appreciate all your assistance and the volunteers. So thank you for doing that. I want to say special thanks to City Hall staff. As we mentioned, the CPS Energy, you noticed about the records and a lot of things. Zach, Lynette, Paola, Rosario, really appreciate everything you guys are doing in the sense of getting this place taken care of. So this is a great thing. So keep it up. Keep it up. Thanks to PD for the escorts. We had a few school activities and things we were having. We had a unique situation over at the school, too, with a juvenile. And just want to say thank you for your help and helping in Medina County with the investigation and some of the procedures that we had. I want to go ahead, and even though they're not here, just want to say thanks to Melinda over at Animal Care and Control. She has done a great job. If you have not had a chance to stop by. You'll notice a difference. She really stepped up and did a lot of stuff. And the main thing is just between the two of them, they pretty much have been taking care of the facility. So kudos to them and what they're doing. I want to say thanks to Public Works on the handling of the 2 water leaks. We had some unique ones. It wasn't because of locates. It was just how they operated, whether it was a shovel or an actual backhoe that caused those. But the unique thing about this, especially the first one, it was transparent. Nobody saw any difference. We did lose some water, but it was nothing. They were able to keep our dialysis center running without losing pressure or anything like that, so the patients could be taken care of, which was worth every penny for us to be able to do that. And then they came back and took care of it. So kudos to you and the staff being able to do that, along with all the other miscellaneous extra stuff that you guys have been doing. So we appreciate it. Want to go ahead and announce the start of the TxDOT project, sidewalk project around Cottage and Prairie. We're waiting for TxDOT in the phases, but if you've gone around that area, you'll notice that there's a lot of different signs and everything else. The last time we talked, I think they said it was going to be on Cottage. Is that correct?
Yeah, and actually, Robbie had a conversation with the project manager last week, and they're indicating Cottage as well. So start.
Perfect. Awesome. So we'll try to work and keep the school district informed too, just so we can kind of help each other out. I'm concerned once we start getting into Prairie, with the primary school, and then once we get on 2790, hopefully the timing is right and it's more in towards the summer break. It'll help us out, even though they told us it was an 18-month project. That's a long time. So we're hoping it's not that long. We're hoping. We'll see what happens. Like it was mentioned, once again, a reminder, closure on the 28th of February on here. Please get it out on social media. Richie, let's go ahead and send something out tomorrow morning. Okay. And just so we can go ahead and let folks know so they can kind of prepare themselves for that day. Try to take care of that. We got the Rise Brand broadband ribbon cutting on the 29th of February at 2 p.m. We went ahead and set possible quorum. Okay, so every one of you is invited. We can all be there. Don't have to worry about having too many of us in there. So that's at 2 o'clock over at the Shops of Idle. Okay, just so we can show some support. And they actually came through being able to take care of this community, the first community, and it's great for our kids. Honestly, if there was anything, this is going to be a great thing for family, family, and everybody else. It works out. It works out really good. Reminder, and please pass it on. Reminder, folks, this time to go vote. We got this week for early voting. We got to push folks out there, remind them, just so it won't take too long. And there's designated locations in Atascosa, designated locations in Medina, which are two big ones, and Bear also. But if I'm not mistaken, you can go either in Atascosa or Medina. You can go to any office. Is that correct? You don't. Countywide voting, so they can go anywhere. So if for some reason decide to go down to the Chili's in Jordanton and grab something to eat, guess what? They can go vote on the same day. So it works out really good. Music Festival on the 22nd and the 23rd of March. The city is working very closely with the chamber, so things are lining up with food trucks and entertainment and sales of beverages and all that stuff out there. We are not having the barbecue cook-off. We're trying to minimize and concentrate on the core of what brings people together. And I think it's going to work out really good for us. So we're going to have a little bit more. Oh, go ahead. There you go. There you go. So sponsorship opportunities, please coordinate with the Shops of Lido with Pam over there. I know she's got the lead, and Simon Garcia too from the chamber. They should be able to help you out. But if anybody out there would like to go ahead and be part of the sponsorship, they're looking for that. Thank you, Molly. Congrats to our Lady Pirates, to our Lido Pirates, both the boys and the girls. The boys ended up with by-district champs, the girls as area champs. Huge accomplishment. They did really good all the way across. So there might be some recognition in the future. Just stand by on that. But it's great seeing them along with, it's great seeing the high school, and then you start hearing about the kids and the youth program also getting recognized. So it's all the way across. That's really good and brings our families together. Congrats also to our powerlifting team. Had a chance to go see them in Natalia. I tell you, the boys and the girls did really good. And they're solid for regional and for state competition. We have one boy that actually, I think he has a really good chance of state again and actually breaking a record. So stand by on that. I think that's going to be pretty cool to be able to do that. But a lot of stuff going on. Yes, and that's all I was going to mention. We have on Wednesday at 10:30 in the morning, we have an escort. Please get the word out. If you guys have a chance, come meet us out here so we can go ahead and cheer them on. They've done really, really good, especially the girls have done really, really good this year. So good to go ahead and send them off. And just so you'll know, it's from area and above where we actually go ahead and get people together and send them off. So if you notice we've had more escorts, that's because our school is doing really good and being able to do that. So that's pretty good for them to do that. Along with that, just to let you know, just found out this afternoon, if you guys remember Jordan, that was part of the Lido Pirates last year, went to state. A player went to play UT at Dallas. His team has been doing really good. He's been doing really good, and they're in the playoffs. And he's going to be playing in San Antonio. And I'll send something out. They're playing in San Antonio Trinity University this Friday at 7:30. So great opportunity to see him. I went and saw him play out in Houston, and I tell you, yeah, he's doing really good, and he's representing us very well too, at the college level too. So that's going to be pretty cool. Birthdays, 6th of March, we got Juan over in Public Works, so right around the corner, and then we have Frank on the 7th of March. Being able to take care of that. So I'm trying to think, Frank. Yeah, Frank is gone. I know. It was February. No. You know what? I put the wrong name on there. No. We have somebody. Hold on. The 7th. It's the 7th of March. The 7th of March. No. 7th of March is Frank, our city attorney team. Frank. Is your boss. Okay. Molly just sent me a little note and reminded me, okay? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Send us the info just in case, send us the info. And with that in mind, actually there is another birthday, but it's a little bit later. It's after the next meeting. So the other thing with prayers, and thank you for sharing with that, but also Chuck, one of our residents here that lives on Bloom Drive, had surgery today. Surgery went very well. If we can please put a little extra prayers for him, for his recovery, and for his family for strength, that would be great. I really appreciate that. Any last minute or anything else somebody else wants to share that came to mind? Okay. Do we still have, there's still goodies in the back? Okay. You take it. I'll give it. Oh, I have it right there. I have the cake right there. Except Richie's going to want his half. That's the problem. He's going to want the half. All right. So we got goodies in the back, so don't depart unless you actually partake on those. Let's go ahead and show it's 8:01 right now. Do I have a motion for us to adjourn?
I make that motion there.
Got a motion. Do I have a second? Got a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Great meeting. 8 o'clock. Got done